Well, it seems to me that if Diddy goes to jail, all of his enablers who stood by, watched, did nothing.
New details in Sean Diddy Combs' ongoing legal battle have been uncovered.
So the feds have now made their plan, revealed their plan, at least. It's all part of this letter.
Said nothing, reported nothing, should be right there in jail with him.
Oh my God, it was so good. I mean, that movie was more sexually charged than Diddy's credit card. I mean, seriously.
Was condemned by many online for a gross Diddy joke in her opening monologue.
On September 16, 2024, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was arrested in New York City and charged with racketeering, trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in relations for money. Prosecutors allege Diddy ran a criminal enterprise involving forced labor, kidnapping, and bribery. At the center of it all are so-called orchestrated erotic activities where Diddy allegedly directed men and women in X-rated performances. Many were said to be unknowingly filmed and blackmailed. Purportedly, victims, some underage, were controlled using threats, violence, narcotics, and money. Raids on Diddy's homes uncovered videos, firearms, and curiously, over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Combs denies all charges, but if convicted, faces up to life in prison.
We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant.
I hit rock bottom.
Hollywood's glitzy facade is crumbling as Sean Diddy Combs' trial casts a shadow over the entertainment industry. Allegations of abuse and coercion at his infamous parties have left former allies scrambling for cover, with whispers of more shocking revelations to come as the world watches the question loom. Who else will fall before justice is served? Sean Diddy Combs, once an icon of the music industry, is now at the center of a scandal that has shaken Hollywood to its core as his trial approaches. A growing list of celebrities who were once associated with him is reportedly anxious about the potential fallout from Nikki Glazer's recent Golden Globes joke about Diddy's notorious past, which reignited public discourse, leaving many wondering how deep his influence ran and who else may be implicated in the web of allegations surrounding him.
Oh my God, it was so good. I mean, that movie was more sexually charged than Diddy's credit card. I mean, seriously. Oh, no, I know, I'm sorry. I'm upset too. The after party's not going to be as good this year, but we have to move on.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you what jokes you left out of your monologue.
Some of these would get pitched and we're like, we can't say that on CBS.
Oh,
we cannot say that to these people's faces. So I'd go move it to the Stern file. Like we can do it on Stern. And it's so nice because at some point you go, stop pitching these. We can't do them on CBS, but now there was a place for them. So, you know, it's such an incredible honor to be here at the Golden Globes, Hollywood's 7th most important night. The Golden Globes is the only show where you can see the biggest stars in movies and television joined together with the same goal: getting out of here tonight before Dax Shepard asks them to do his podcast.
That's great.
Think of it. This is the last time all of you will be in the same room together until the Diddy trial. So at one point in the show, I go, oh, look, it's 2-time Holocaust survivor Adrian Brody, because he's been in 2 Holocaust films.
Right.
Yes. And I
good.
said, you know, if Adrian Brody could go back in time, he would thank baby Hitler for his career. And that
At the 2025 Golden Globes, host Nikki Glazer took a jab at Diddy during her monologue, referencing the infamous nature of his past parties. The joke drew mixed reactions, with some in the audience laughing uncomfortably. While others remained visibly uneasy, critics called the humor insensitive given the gravity of the allegations, while supporters defended Glazer's willingness to address controversial topics.
But we have to move on. No, Stanley Tucci just doesn't have the same ring to it, but...
That face kind of says it all.
No baby oil this year, just lots of olive oil, okay?
Look, I found that funny because it's a Stanley Tucci joke. It's a Stanley Tucci joke. He does cooking all the time. He does cooking with Stanley Tucci. He's like the whole thing. He's like Italian olive oil. That was the joke. I didn't find it as offensive. Personally, I think everything can be jokeable. You got to try to find the laughs in it, or else it's just too depressing of a world. I mean, she is calling out, the parties aren't as good, which I think a lot of people in Hollywood are starting to feel like, oh crap, we can't have as much fun at these parties anymore because we might be called out. Now, that doesn't mean they were going as far as Diddy was going, but I do think this joke walked that line where I could see why some would be offended, but honestly, I think she could have gone even harder. I would have enjoyed that.
Glazer's approach contrasted with previous hosts like Ricky J.Y., known for his unapologetic style. While Glazer's commentary was less biting, it still highlighted the elephant in the room, the industry's reckoning with Diddy's alleged actions and the potential involvement of others.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
And I can get on that list,
yes,
right?
Without a doubt, you are invited.
Diddy's parties were legendary for their extravagance and exclusivity, attracting a roster of Hollywood A-listers. Attendees included music icons like Jay-Z and Beyoncé, actors like Ashton Kutcher, and fashion elites like Naomi Campbell. However, the darker side of these events, dubbed off parties, has become a focal point of investigations. Allegations suggest these gatherings Diddy's parties were legendary for their extravagance and exclusivity, attracting a roster of Hollywood A-listers. Attendees included music icons like Jay-Z and Beyoncé, actors like Ashton Kutcher, and fashion elites like Naomi Campbell. However, the darker side of these events, dubbed off parties, has become a focal point of investigations. Allegations suggest these gatherings involved coercion, non-consensual activities, and the use of illicit substances.
Now, Wayne Dennison, who represented Johnny Depp in his successful lawsuit against his former partner, Amber Heard, told Newsweek that celebrities should not make public statements as it will only link them to Combs in the public eye and may attract more lawsuits. Now, the principal advice that I would provide celebrities known to have attended one of the now infamous parties thrown by Mr. Combs is to keep your head down, not up. Now, quite simply, there is no good reason to proactively address anything related to Mr. Combs unless and until you are dragged into the spotlight. Like Jay-Z. Now, Prince Andrew's disastrous effort to get out in front of the allegations concerning his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein should serve as a cautionary tale to those who hope to proactively persuade others that nothing untoward ever took place.
According to Dennison, celebrities who attended Diddy's parties should avoid engaging with the controversy unless legally compelled to do so. This approach aims to minimize potential reputational damage and legal exposure.
So the investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him and to anyone else who we believe committed the crime with him.
It's important to note that the Southern District of New York is very selective with their cases. So if they're throwing the book at Diddy, it means they have the dump truck full of receipts to back it up. So who are all the celebrities being named? Which ones should we actually be suspicious of? And what the hell happened at these infamous parties everyone's talking about? Because not only is it worse than you think, but we've been missing the clues dropped by Diddy and his friends for years. Today, we are going to dive into the allegations and sift through Diddy's celebrity relationships to determine who is actually at risk of indictment themselves. Because what makes everything even more hazy is that Diddy was famous for throwing white parties, which were on the whole just regular parties. Like LA locals could often buy tickets to get in. But it's the after hours free parties where things got jaw-droppingly nefarious.
Over 200 individuals have come forward alleging abuse by Diddy or others connected to his circle. Some high-profile figures, like Jay-Z, have faced separate accusations, including one claiming he assaulted a 13-year-old girl, a claim he vehemently denies, and is countersuing for defamation. This has left many celebrities scrambling to distance themselves from Diddy and his now-tainted legacy.
But what I find that people aren't talking about enough is definitely the network of enablers that Diddy has that have allowed him, if he is indeed guilty of these things that he's accused of, that have allowed him to run rampant and fly below the radar for so long. We tend to see this same network around anybody who has substantial means, whether they're entertainers, politicians, or even drug dealers. For the past 5 months, we've seen a lot of former associates of P. Diddy coming forth, whether it's Gene Deal or Mark Curry, who I believe is one of his old producers, coming forward to say what they have witnessed when they were working or hanging out with Diddy over the years. They're all stepping forward to talk about witnessing Cassie being abused, as well as other women, most notably the mother of several of P. Diddy's children, Kim Porter, who died several years ago from pneumonia. Mark Curry alleges that he's seen Diddy break the nose of one of his ex-girlfriends. He also incriminated himself by saying that he witnessed Diddy slipping something in a woman's drink in a club. You didn't warn the woman? You didn't try to stop her from drinking it? You didn't try to talk to Diddy about it?